Hello, and welcome again to another presentation for Tridentu-R. My name, not important. And today, we're going to get right into this. Now, the first thing you're going to notice that's different from last time, as you can see here, is the windows and also the desktop as a whole. Let me bear in mind, it's still under development, but we've done what we had to do regarding certain things. So, what's the first thing you'll notice here? Well, we've got Kodi, the media center, already pre-installed, even though we're not going to show it in this presentation due to some issues with theming, but next time you might see it. Another thing you're going to notice is that this bar here is actually darker. Now, the bar used to be the Nordic, let's just say, bluish color, like a dark color like this. Now it's darker than that. Now, if we go to, let's just say, a program, you're going to notice this. Yeah, that's OBS. Who would have thought? Anyways, let's hide this. What you just saw, if you saw it correctly, was that the decoration for the windows has changed. It used to have the Nordic yellow, red, and green, the dots, making it look like Mac OS. However, we had to change that because I felt like it could have been better and more intuitive than before, because let's be honest here. And if we go to something like, I don't know, Kwrite, you will clearly see that Kwrite is much better here with these icons because they're more intuitive. You know what they are from Windows if you've been on Windows than they are from Mac. That's just my 2 cents, but still, I decided that we had to change that. Now, it's still Nordic, but we'll get into that change a little bit in a little bit. Anyways, the next thing we're going to talk about shortly, or pretty soon, is this. Be right back. The next change is known as the, well actually I'm going to show you instead of tell you. So what happens when I do Alt-Tab? Watch and observe. As you can see, I can move through things. And yes, that is the folder structure that I'm using here. And it works. So keep that in mind when we're doing this. It does work. Big time. Anyways, next change. Now we can start. So I'm going to go back and do it again. Watch. Go to system settings, just like before. Hopefully it will turn up. There we go. I'm going to desktop modes, not that, because you can do it from there, but this is a more automatic type of thing regarding that. You click this, select this mode, apply. Now if you're wondering what this is the manual button. This is where you go to get help on how each mode is done or how you can just do it. Now, one serious problem is that we don't have that documentation yet, even though I worked on it this morning. Next time, you will see this change take place. So, when I come back, you will see this mode. And that will be not it, but history, I guess. So, I'll see you when I have it up and running. Now you will notice that if you were to look right on the video, you can see that I have changed the desktop mode, even though I had to make a few tweaks to make it functional again. But other than that, it works. Now, if you go here, hold on, wait for it. You can see that I have a launch pad. Now the launch pad is this thing right here. Just like Chrome, basically. And you can move about and do things. And now, we're going to see if that works in OBS Studio, because I don't know if it works or not. Oops. Did I do that? Oh. Right. I did do that. So let's just try it again. And, yep, it works. You can see it. I was just making sure, because sometimes these things don't work. Now, while we are in this mode, let's talk about, or actually, let's go to another mode. I want to show you this in full. So the next one we're going to try is, you guessed it, if we can get there, Mac. Now to do Mac mode, we have to go right here and select it. Now this is the problem I've been talking about, the one with the theming. So we'll have to fix that by next presentation, which is in August. This thing releases in September, hopefully. And let's do that. So I'm going to switch to Mac mode, that is, nothing serious. And I'll be right back when I have transitioned into it. Alright, so we're back. And as you can see, this looks eerily similar to Mac. It's because it's Mac mode. Now the difference is the Tridentu logos being used all over the place. I know. I wish that didn't happen, but hey, what can you do? You know. It has to be like that because, as you can see here, I have to make sure it works properly in order for it to, and also to avoid copyright strikes or whatever it's called. I decided to change the logo because this is a Tridentu mode, desktop mode that is. Now if you look here, you can do this and it looks eerily familiar. We have microphone here, we have touchpad here, we even have Tridentu desktop mode there. And as you can see, this is Mac mode. Now another thing you'll notice, if I go here, is that both Bluetooth works. Now I wasn't supposed to go over this, but we'll do it anyway. And yes, it's on the list. As you can see, Bluetooth actually does work. This is how the mouse is moving and how I can type so fast. I don't type very fast with the regular keyboard on my Lenovo because, well, it's just compact enough to where that doesn't happen right. Anyways, let's get back to it. Now I want to try and see if the decorations are correct. So we are going to have to load up Discover. And believe it or not, it works. Even though we have these ugly things down here. I know, not the best presentation regarding the window decorations for the Mac mode. Oh, look at here. The icon turned dark. Interesting, isn't it? So as you can see, I can load things. I can even try and look for things. That's because this is made possible by something I presented last time, which was Flatpak. So it's a pretty good test. Anyways, let's go to the next mode, which is Windows. So to do that, we're going to have to go to Appearance, like I said before, Desktop Modes, and yes, there's a theming issue. We will fix that next time, or have it fixed by next time. And we're going to select Windows 11. It's the last mode I want to try before we go back to Tridentu-R, desktop mode, and just do everything else. So there you go. Hit apply. And things should change shortly. Oh, forgot to mention, this is here too. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have to log out. So I'll be right back when I have booted it up. So we're back. And yes, this is eerily similar to Windows. It's supposed to be the Windows 11 mode for the desktop mode system that I talked about earlier. However, you'll notice that instead of the Windows logo, the menu is opened with the Tridentu logo. That's because we want to avoid trouble here, and the best thing to do is just that. Not use the actual logo, which was there before, but use something different. Now, let's see about... I want to see what application I can open. I'm going to try something different. Or maybe the same. Let's try KCalc. And yes, this is KCalc. It looks similar, but overall it's, I guess, the same. Now we're going to try something that is the same, kwrite. Now go to kwrite, you go up to here, the K section, and you're going to do kwrite, just like that. And it's just like Notepad, but different. Anyways, that's all we need to see regarding this mode. I'm not going to get into it, even though I have to use Windows 11 to work on my video game projects. So, just saying. Anyways, let's go back to Tridentu-R. So to do that, we go to System Settings, just like before. We go straight to Appearance, Desktop Modes, Tridentu-R, Apply. Wow, I didn't think this looked good. I guess I was dreaming. Click out, and I'll be right back when we finally have it on. Alright, so now we're back, and I'm going to grab my book here. We're back in Tridentu mode, and as you may have noticed, there's a separator right after the Saturn Launcher button, or just the Saturn Launcher in general. That is because that's what happens when you use desktop modes. So your best bet is to always back up the templates, just in case you have to do any repairs, until we can find a solution that will help keep this afloat. Anyways, let's do this. So the first thing you're going to notice, if I can just open up a terminal. So to open up a terminal, I go here. I already have it here, the console. So I'm going to just open it up. And the first thing you'll notice is when I do you'll see there's a reminder or a message there. That's because we upgraded ZipZeish. Now if you don't know what ZipZeish is, it's basically Tridentu's very own Zeish framework, where plugins are loaded on demand, meaning whenever you have a Zeish plugin, you put it in the plugins folder and you name it plugin.zeish, the file that actually is the plugin, to run it. This way or that way, you won't have to worry about plugins not being there when you want them to be there, because it just won't load them if they're not in that folder. Simpler than OhMyZeish or OMZ, but still keeps the plugins and everything that you may need to run certain things. This is one of them. Now, if you notice, I can do New Tab, and there was a message there. That message is the loading message. Usually we don't do that, but we did it anyway. Now, let's move on. The next thing you're going to notice is something you can do. There's going to be two things, by the way. So for this, you have to do sudo Caravel-PM install package. Now to do this, I've decided to just go along with it. And yes, this is an actual package. And if we do that, you can see there's a loading bar, and hold it. Should be there shortly. There we go. Now if we go to System Settings, go to Appearance, Fonts, you'll notice it's right there. This is Atkinson Hyperlegible, a font that I used for a game engine I was working on, but decided to add it to the CMR, or Caravel main repository for those of you who don't know, so that you can have assets, like extra fonts that you may not need at the moment, but may need later, or even other things, like icons, or GTK3 themes. Anything that's an asset goes in that category or type. Now watch when I do this. Yeah, that message will change probably next time if we can get it there. But that's not the point. If you go to font management, it's no longer there. It literally got removed by Caravel-PM. So that's the first part. The second thing we're going to talk about after that would be, I wouldn't say sound theme. Actually, let's do sound theme. So to do that, I'm going to open up downloads. And yes, there's a lot of stuff in here. I know what you're thinking. Why are you doing this? Well, that's because I'm trying to make sure that we have enough things in here just in case we have to do some extra packaging, or as we call it, hard building, which is when you build something and you make sure that it's on the system to where if you remove it, it could break. I know this sounds predatory, but think about it. You wouldn't want something crucial like the Linux kernel to be removed. So that's why that's there. So let's see. I'm going to go with this one. Go to the trash, empty it. As you just heard, and I don't know if you can hear me, as you just heard, there is a new sound for the sound theme. Basically, I changed it from Draki, which was before something else, all the way to our own sounds, which include the piano mainly and the organ. So I'm going to empty the trash, and yes, we still have the trash sound. We're going to actually change that probably in the next month or so. So that's that for the sound theme. And there's more sounds too that we changed too. This is just one of them. Now the progress bar we already went over, but I want to show you something else. Two things, to be honest. Or make it three. First one is Acacia PM. And as you can see here, we have packages in this tree. You can see the name and the description. We also managed to package a lot more stuff. So for example, lib input, synaptics, we already had evdev before, Wacom, and Intel. We also have the new package, htop, and we went over this one, and imlib. Now if we go to this, you'll see what it is as well. However, there will have to be a readme to replace that. Oh, and you even have a menu bar up here too, which is in progress, but we'll get there. Anyways, out of that, next thing I'm going to go over is Wineyards. And as you can see here, we have everything you may need. But if I go to open and I go up in there, you can see this works still. It really does. But we also patched the bug that I talked about in the last report, which is where the name and path get erased from the JSON file that holds the program list. And does it work? Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of flickering because this is DRI2. We don't use DRI3 because the recording could be botched by DRI3. And there you have it. As you saw, that was Notepad++. It indeed works. And no, I did not create this. This is actually someone else's creation, this program here, but it works, as you can see. Now granted, some programs may not work under this wine thing, but it is a step in the right direction that we patched this, got this running. If you want to see it again, I'll just do it again. And bam, it works. You even get a notification. Now the one thing that doesn't work is terminating programs, so we're going to have to work on that. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get to the next thing. The next thing should be, well, there's not much to say, actually, except this. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to run something from Golang. And yes, Go is actually in the CMR, so I was able to install it using Caravel. And what we do is, this is 1.17.3, so bear with me. You do go run, and then we'll do main.go. And as you can see here, this is a different program. So if I do Control Q and then clear, what you'll see here is that this is actually part of the Caravel SDK. This is called Caravel DB. That program is supposed to be a special program that allows you to make repositories for Caravel. We will provide that probably either after or right at release or launch, so that you can be able to make your own repositories in case you find the CMR a little bit less providing. And also, it will allow you to, as long as you have the right credentials and everything else sorted out, host other programs so that others don't have to. Just saying, because the CMR is quite small. It has to be, since it's hosted on GitHub. But that's beyond the point. Anyways, I think we're done. So I think we got everything. Hold on, let me check. Oh, I forgot to show you the dashboard. So watch this. I'm going to close out of this. We press Meta Shift D to go to the dashboard. And as you can see, I have a dashboard. Not the one that you use to open apps, but the one that you use to show, well, it's just like a hub for just chilling, I guess. Made this a long time ago. You can see we have this dashboard thing, which will be replaced by Titanus pretty soon. And then we have this dashboard. If I can open it. It doesn't work. Anyways, show the activity switcher. We'll have to fix that eventually. But I think we might be able to fix it right now. But I'm not going to, because we're out of time. Anyways, you know who I am. We did what we had to do here regarding cleaning up certain things. And the next presentation will be in August. And it will feature way more. New Caravel commands, possibly the Caravel SDK, Wineyards with more complete features, Jacob Suite as well. The IDE that we were making is going to be here. I mean, the list will go on and on. Anyways, that's all I had to say. You know who I am. If you liked it, just give it a like. If you didn't like it, that's okay too. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next presentation. Later. This presentation was made on Tridentu-R 0.7. Thanks for watching.